Hey all. So this is another little update for everything. I honestly hope everything is working here. If I just open, yeah, OBS is on in the background here. So everything's working. So this is one that I've not updated in a while. My other project that I'm working on, it's kind of I have one game project, one animation project, and they're both more or less for learning Unreal, for going further with it and trying to explore what I can do with it. And most of you that have been on the channel for ages now will know I've been trying to do this, and I've mentioned a few times I've been trying to do little bits here and there to update it, so I just thought I'd do a cutaway scene. And the cutaway scene is a intro that I've just come up with as an idea, just to sort of give the animation a little bit more than just the main sequence to roll into this, because I don't want to just go into it blind without sort of any introduction whatsoever. So what I've decided on doing is this kind of like text-based thing where I've got this walking animation through this facility to sort of connect what was going to be the previous section of animation in the original draft, and then do the action sequence afterwards and connect it with like text in between that kind of highlights little key points from the script. I just thought I'd do that because then it gives me a little bit to work off. So what are we looking at here? Well, here's the room that I created. There's a lot of meshes going on in here at the moment, so we'll just try and move around it while it's lagging like crazy because the amount of stuff that I have in here. So I've got my main mesh here. I'm just gonna move some stuff out of the way on the side screen so I can actually see what's going on. Here we go. Okay, so we got some stuff going on in the background. We got a load of meshes in here. So many meshes, it's ridiculous. But what I've done is I've made this giant corridor, and the corridor is very, very, say, claustrophobic. It's kind of like this in game, but it's a little bit higher in terms of the height with the robots to the roof. The ceiling's just obviously a lot taller, but I've tried to make it shorter to disguise everything. What I've tried to do is add like minimal effects in this as well, so it's all done through lighting and the meshes, and then some post-process. But the idea is we get this walk animation, which is reused from the actual fight sequence later on, and in the fight sequence you don't see the legs down below, so I might actually edit that bit in either post or actually just edit the camera so you can't see the legs connecting with the floor as much. But we get the mech here that walks past all these meshes here, and all these meshes are meant to represent enemies. Now, what I've done is in the actual game, they separate these with like individual chamber things and have them further down. I'm not sure whether I want to do that at the moment. I mean, I could do pretty easily. I'll have to work on that and see whether it's any better, but this is what I've got going at the moment. It's just the test level for Unreal, and I've just flipped it on its head and then darkened the area and put some lighting in to kind of give it that little bit more detail. And then, of course, because there's no doors or anything on this, when we go from lit to unlit here, you'll see it's just the same mesh. And then the rest is just duplicated meshes of the same enemy, which appear in the game as well. So we've got a lot of stuff here. Like if we relight that, looks a little bit better. I've tried to give it this kind of ghostly lighting. So the idea is that only bits show up, and then the ones in the background don't show up as much to camouflage what's going on. And then in the foreground, we've got these like weird, almost energy barrier walls that they have in game. But yeah, I tried to disguise as much as possible to make it look like it goes on forever. And then the idea is to sort of switch it up and go to, say, one of the few cameras, because the idea is I'm going to switch between cameras here. Like, take this one, for example. We got this one where we see it from the side and the mech's walking, and you can see the stuff in the background, but you can't see quite how far it goes. That's cool for a small shot. And then we got the second shot, which is a little bit further back. If we play that, you can see the animation for the walk is a little bit jaggedy there. Not as good, but kind of gives a little bit more detail. And then we've got another 2 cameras here. We've got one with FOV that kind of zooms out. That's walking towards the camera. And then we've got the 4th one, which is this sort of like shot in between the meshes to make it look all mysterious and cool again. So he should come past any time now. There we go. So yeah, the idea is to kind of get this shot so he's walking down and then mix the text in between and make it look pretty neat. Hey Zero in chat. So yeah, I've also got my fake lights on the front here to illuminate the robot a little bit. That's looking cool. I really might give it a try and see whether I can lower the side bits here and give it that that lowered section that the actual game has, because that would be cool to kind of lower it, set the energy walls back. Yes, it is, by the way, Matt Wheaton. This is supposed to be the or at least a reference to the end of Master of Arena where you're in the factory area, but I'm just trying to make it for my animation a little bit. So the idea is that we've got these sections with all of these mass-produced versions, and the AI, well, the robot that I've got here is going to walk past, and it's going to start off my animation, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, that's all done in Unreal Engine 4, and it's all rendered in real time. So yeah, if we go back to one of these cameras now, for people who haven't seen this at the moment, if I just, can I get off the preview camera there? So yeah, let's go over this again. That doesn't look too bad at the moment there. If I switch between these shots, I can make it last a lot longer. I'm not so sure if I want to, like I said, I'm conflicted now about creating the room accurately or just doing it like this. Because I do like it like this, but I do like my accuracy as well, so it's awkward. Totally conflicted at the moment. I mean, I do like the way this looks. Looks really cool with the lighting effects and everything. So I love the way that the lights are just bouncing off, and then if we... The weird thing is, like, I was gonna decide on whether I should take away these walls as well. Oh, can't delete while Matinee is open. Can I at least hide this? If I go visibility and click hide. There we go. I could even hide these walls, but I don't think that would be that good, because, like, even though they look really cool and mysterious here, it kind of looks like some promotional material for AC1 or something. Even though it looks really cool, I think it's better with the shield wall at the side. So yeah, it's got me conflicted. It definitely has me conflicted. The only thing I could do is make both versions. The center suit seems to get lost in the darkness. Yeah, I mean that goes off with the way that I'm trying to camouflage everything. If I show all actors for a moment, I suppose I could up the ambience in the level. Like if I turn around here and go back to from immersive mode, you guys might see some of the editor in the background here. If I try and up the lighting a little bit in the post-process, that might help. The thing is, I want to camouflage most of it so you can't see the areas of the level. So if I go exposure bias here, and I instead of having it at -761, if I have it at, like, say, -0.4, it's not really lowered it. I mean, increased it too much. Let's try -0.2. Cole says, my vote is for the shield wall to be up, or go back to the profile shot where it's silhouette. I'm slowly trying to raise the exposure bias here. Problem is, if I raise it too much, it goes crazy. Like, I'm starting to raise it here, and oh, that's with 3. That's going way too blue, mate. That's just ridiculous. Like, let's lower that again. That's 1. Let's have a look around the scene here at the moment. The problem is, the more we raise, like, we get all these crappy shadows on the roof here now. And that's not what I want either. Because the lights are lower down to give that kind of spooky effect. But that did help a little bit. Like, we've got minimum brightness is 0 and max brightness is 1. If I put that to 2, and do the exposure bias at 0.5. See how that goes. No, that lowers it again. Let's try going back. Scrub through the footage here. Because the idea is we're going to be seeing a lot more in the actual proper animation anyway. The only difference is that this is kind of a spooky run-up to it. So the lighting is going to be different. Like, I'm not sort of using that as an excuse. I'm just saying that it's obviously going to look that a little bit different anyway. Still can't... Well, we can see the edges of the level now. If I do... minus 0.4... Oh, wait, minus 0.4 for the exposure bias, that makes everything a lot darker compared to 0.5, where you can see it slowly increase the shot there. Yeah, it's still streaming. Sometimes when I press the wrong button, it messes up. Can I do low and high % here and see whether that changes anything? Not too much. Let's see here. Bloom. Can I drop the intensity on the bloom? 0.5 on the bloom. What about 0.2? Okay, the bloom looks a little bit better like that because it's not as intense. I say that, but we've still got this kind of crazy look going on. From the front, I like the bloom when it's intense, though. That's the thing. And then when we look back at everything, it's oh boy, oh boy. Was the post processing? There we go. Try and check out the difference on the effects here. Yeah, definitely seems better being darker. There's got to be some way I can light this up. I'm gonna have to look into it. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys this little bit of a preview and sneak peek as to what's going on with this scene and what's going on with this project. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. I hope you've